There we are. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Welcome back to M Cubed. I am your host Harris, and today, as like it's not usual. I hope it doesn't become too usual, but I live in LA. The schedule tends to be a little bit busy, and we were not able to get Theater Thursday in this morning. I did a big old barbecue yesterday, and I think my final straggler left at 3:50 a.m. So I wasn't waking up at 8 o'clock to get everything out and ready and prepared for a 10, 11 a.m. stream this morning. I do apologize, but like I said, life's busy, you know? But I'm here for a little bit. I wish I could do like a full-on Theater Thursday, but literally it's 9:53 right now. At 9:50, my showing for Transformers begins. I only live about 7 or 8 minutes away, so I think I have about 10, 15 minutes to smoke a little bit before I head there. So usually I do my smoking on the Mary Jane aspect of this channel, I guess, on Snapchat, because it's kind of just a good, simple place to smoke. But I wanted to hit Theater Thursday. I know this isn't like, we're not going over the box office and going over the numbers and going through the numbers and dialing in and tuning in and doing all the things we should be. But hey, I'm excited for Transformers. I expect it to do well. I want to know how you think it's going to do down below. But in the meantime, I don't think, because it took me 17 minutes to stuff the cone last time while I was talking, I don't think that's a good idea to smoke a J right now. I'm going to take a fat dab though, and we're gonna see how that translates to camera. So give me one moment, and I will be right back with my dab rig and my torch and a little bit of wax, and I will see you in a moment. All right, and I am back. And I just I didn't forget about it, but it's the reason why I guess the afternoon version of this stream didn't end up happening. Howdy, Shelly. I do apologize for being this late and being this hectic and all over the place. I'm happy that you're still waking with me though. Makes my heart happy. But I've been all over the damn place today. I wanted to do like an afternoon stream or something, because I just told everybody a minute ago I did not go to sleep at the normal time I usually would yesterday. I think the last stragglers from I threw a barbecue yesterday, and yeah, almost 1 a.m. I think the last stragglers over here yesterday that I after my barbecue left at about 3:50 in the morning. So I stayed up real late, and I didn't wake up till like 10 or 11, which is when I usually, like to do these streams. So of course, Theater Thursday was not happening. So we're gonna make it into a smoke stream, Might as well. That is a fat dab. But you know what? I think I've only smoked once today, and I know that sounds crazy, but I'm ADD as shit. Surprise, if you can't ever tell. And I just don't like to take a pill for it. I meditate and do all that good stuff, but I use ganja as my ADD, ADHD kind of calmer downer, because I don't believe amphetamines with all them damn pills calm you down enough to like do anything really. Sure, concentration pills are a thing, but nah. Anyway, this is a fat dab, which is like the concentrated version of THC. It's not necessarily like the herb or the flower, like a joint or a blunt or a bong rip or a hit in a pipe would be. This needs a dab rig, which is very similar to a pipe or a bong or anything. Yes, do not comment on how dirty this is. She gets used daily, and I do clean things, and I change water daily, so you got to be up with certain things, but that's not too bad. I'm just saying. Anyway, this is an old torch, but this always makes you feel like a crackhead, because it's like it's a little more difficult to get the actual wax from the herb than it is just to take the bud off, and that looks like a lab experiment. I feel like a scientist every time I dab, and then I dab, and then I forget that I was a scientist, But no, legit, like smoking weed makes you like a scientist. A lot of the times, some of the best mathematicians I know are actually god awful at math until you decide to put weed in front of them, and they're like, these numbers just make sense to them immediately. They're like, oh, an eighth is also like this. And now, I mean, it's hilarious. It's so funny. But yes, no. Where usually you would have, if this was a bong, this wouldn't be poking out the way this does, and this would be like a bowl right here, and you would just get a. Oh yeah, I know we have a lighter around here. I always have a lighter. Cool little lighter with a cool eye. But usually, if it was dropping lighters, usually if it was a bong, you'd light it. You'd have a little like bud in here, and you go do the whole thing. This, I heat this up with this torch, this like a cooking torch, like a creme brulee kind of torch kind of deal, and you heat it up till this glass piece is red hot. And yeah, this is very used. The stoners that come in through this stream and after the fact, they'll be like, look, you need a better banger, and I do. This is called a banger. I need one. I've used this one for years, but I keep breaking my good one. So this one's just, whether it's burnt to shit or not, it's still cooking and it's still going. So we use it nonetheless. Anyway, before I got to actually run out of here to see this movie, let's see if we can get this torch going. This is also a super old torch, so I have to do it sometimes like a dozen, 2 dozen times before I can actually get that beautiful flame there. And here, I know it's going to be really loud. I do apologize. It's going to be really loud for like the next 45 seconds to like a minute and a half. I literally am just keeping this torch on the end of this glass. The hottest part of a torch is where you see the heavy blue and like the heavy like lighter blue in the middle right there. Actually, you can see it pretty well on camera. That is the coldest part of a torch. The second hottest part of a torch is right where that like very, very middle blue turns into like the lightsabery kind of looking blue right there. And then at the tip of that, the tip of the flame, but not the actual tip of the flame, but the tip of that like bluer part of the flame, that is your third hottest. And then the actual hottest part is the part that they have on there, that end of the flame. It kind of, I guess, I don't know the actual scientific aspect behind it, but at that point, all of that heat is just, I am assuming, shoved in the front over there. So all the heat goes to the front. We got her pretty nice and red right there. I won't keep that on too long so it's not too loud for everybody. I know it sounded like you're getting on an airplane and for a minute, but it just excites the lungs. You probably want to wait for it to die down a little bit. Some people like really hot dabs. You see how like you can feel it's really hot. The thing, I know I gave you my tips and tricks last week on the joints and stuffing cones and taking the tip off and lighting it properly. Drug lessons 101. These aren't drugs, thankfully. I don't consider herb weed to be a drug. I mean, by definition and technicality, of course. I mean, caffeine's a drug. Alcohol's a drug. All these things are drugs. They change the way our body reacts normally to whatever we're putting in there. But I'm much more of a alcohol's done some bad stuff to me in the past. I still drink. I got a Cayman Jack right here, and I just left the bar after I produced a play, and we had a really good performance tonight. It was just a one-woman show, and I'm producing it, and the girl that performed, Melissa, is phenomenal. So I'm really happy for her, really happy that it went well, and yeah, I'm all over the place. Anyway, let's just dab. It's go time. Cheers, y'all. Get a little elephant to help us dab. So, mental stabilizing influencers. Yes, 101. Although, if anything weed like is gonna look like a drug, it is this shit. Because you gotta do like the whole 9 yards. Lordy! But it hits like you do the whole 9 yards. I gotta remember not to exhale right into the camera. I think a little more. Yeah, that's about it. Woo! Sweet Christmas. Merry Christmas. Good Lord. Happy Hanukkah. All the above. Woo! Woohoo! I will tell you, that's about to make Transformers really fun. Oh God, what time is it? Okay, so technically it started 12 minutes ago. It takes me about 7 minutes to get to the movie theaters, and there's about 25 minutes of previews technically before a film. So I got like 2 or 3 minutes with y'all, and then I gotta skedaddle. I gotta skedaddle to Transformers. But yeah, that's a dab. I know this is not Saturday, so it's not Saturday Jays or whatever we're going to end up calling it. SmokeStreams are a good little title, I think. But either or, honestly. What do y'all think? Shelly, you'll be here the most often. Do you do you like Saturday Jays or do you like SmokeStreams? And I can kind of do them whenever, but like specify them for Saturdays. We can do Saturday SmokeStreams and then SmokeStreams whenever, of course. I like my alliterations. But what I was saying was like the way to test it out, like a lot of people set a timer and they'll set like timers for 35 to 45 seconds, literally anywhere within that range. It depends who you ask. Someone's going to have an opinion about it. I'm one of the few people that probably doesn't, because every banger is different. Every piece of glass is different. Every torch is different. Not all torches are going to get into, the same heat levels, yada, yada. So the thing that I tend to do is my hand's a little numb at this point, so I don't really feel it most of the time. So I go under because I can feel it better there. But you can usually feel it up here. It goes where it's like super scalding hot, and like you don't want to keep your hand there to whenever it's, yeah, that's pretty damn hot. That's when you hit it. So you keep your hand there the entire time. You shouldn't, but that's how you know whenever it goes from really, 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 really hot to just really, really, really hot. That's when you hit it typically. And I feel like that's like that nice middle temperature dab. There are some people that are like really specific and only want like super low tip dabs, and I don't blame them because low tip dabs are great, and especially if you get them like perfectly timed. You can have like a much larger dab. It feels like a lot more bang for your buck. And I feel like the buzz, the high, will it doesn't last longer, but it settles in nicer, if that makes sense. Where like if you hit that shit like if you heat it up, grab your tool and just go for it right after it's hot, you get baked like immediately. It's like that's when you really really feel it, and I mean that's how people usually take dabs for their first time. So that's what kind of like the perception of dabs tend to be, is like a hot dab that just knocks you on your ass, and it will. And I used to really like hot dabs because it knocks you on your ass, but now I think of the herb more as a medicine and not so much party, college, high school thing. So yeah, it's growth, as they say. I heard something like that. But whatever night treat streams, that's kind of fun. Because we could just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's a good way of saying it. Yeah. Are y'all gonna go see Transformers? Because I think I do have to leave for Transformers here in a second. But are y'all excited for it? I guess I know some people, like my friends, are generally excited, but also I talk movies to everybody about everything. So the people in my circles are pretty excited about most movies. No, see, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, I don't know if this is gonna be that big of a movie because most of the Transformers make 700, 800, 900, $1 billion. They're making a lot of money. After the pandy and everything, I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested. I'm giving them a couple dollars on the first day. I'm gonna go see it in 40X, so I kind of do have to get there before the seats start moving because it's gonna be a freaking roller coaster. Cool roller coaster, but a roller coaster. But that's all. I'm ahead on out here. Yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow on Friday film news. Yeah, I think is that number 1 or number 2? Were we able to? We weren't able to do it last week, so this is number 1, right? Or am I a week behind mentally? I don't know. We'll get there. See y'all tomorrow. Adios, y'all.